Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. So in this video, I'll take you through the current affairs from March 1 to March 10. So let's begin. 20% FDI in LIC via automatic route approved by the government. So students, we all are aware that much awaited LIC IPO is due in March, students, and wherein the government is it has put 5% stake in LIC on offer for sale as a major initiative of strategic disinvestment, students. So we all know that the government at this time, the fiscal deficit is high at about 6.9%, and the government wants to close that. So as an initiative towards that, the government has offered for sale 5% stake in LIC, and the IPO initial public offering. This is the first time that LIC would be raising funds from the stock markets. So the IPO, students, is due in March. Now, students, LIC falls in the insurance sector, and in the insurance sector, only 74% FDI is allowed. However, there are some special provisions that govern LIC, because of which, like 74% FDI is not approved for LIC. So in order to resolve that, the cabinet has approved up to 20% FDI in the LIC's IPO. And the government hopes that by doing so, it will make it easier for India's largest insurer to be disinvested. And foreign investors may be interested in taking part in this mammoth IPO, and the existing FDI laws, on the other hand, include no special provisions for LIC. Next, students, both FPI and FDI, a foreign portfolio investment and foreign direct investment, are authorized under public offer according to SEBI guidelines. But because the current FDI policy caps foreign inflows at 20% for public sector banks requiring government permission, it has been decided to allow foreign investment up to 20% for LIC, students, right? So that means this is not in line with the guidelines for the insurance sector, but this is in line with the guidelines for the public sector banks. So in public sector banks, 20% FDI is allowed, students, for, through the automatic route. So the government has, the cabinet has approved 20% of FDI in LIC IPO as well. Furthermore, such FDI has been retained under the automatic route. Automatic route is, students, wherein government permission or like a special approval is not required. So this has been done to quicken the capital raising process, according to one of the sources. And for quicker economic growth and development across sectors, increased FDI inflows will augment, it's going to support, it's going to bolster the domestic capital, technology transfer, and talent development. Next, students, first smart managed EV charging stations commissioned by BSES. So EV stands for electric vehicles. So now, students, we all know that the whole concept of electric vehicles, is and green mobility, of course, is catching momentum within the country. But a prerequisite for, deepening the usage of EVs in the country, the prerequisite is that we have a proper infrastructure in place. So in line with that, a subsidiary of Reliance Infrastructure, SES Yamuna Power Limited, BYPL, has commissioned India's first smart managed EV charging station in New Delhi, right? And BYPL is backed by Bombay Suburban Electric Supply. And it is executed by the Fortum Charge and Drive. It will be the first ever BIPL managed smart EV charging station. So what makes it smart is, of course, one, that it is backed by, state-of-the-art technology, and that it can charge 5 electric vehicles at the same time, students. So the biggest of the smart electric charging station is in California, where it can charge 56, electric vehicles at the same time. So BSES is also preparing to play a major role in the emerging EV sector, and it's planning to install more such smart EV charging stations for the public use. Next, students, Google starts Play Pass subscription in India. So Google has announced the launch of Play Pass subscription service in India that will provide Android device users access to over 1,000 applications and games without any advertisement, students, and in-app purchases and upfront payments. So Play Pass, which is currently available in 90 countries, will offer a high quality and curated collection of 1,000 plus titles across 41 categories from developers across 59 countries, including many from India. So Google said this in a statement, students. Now, what is Play Pass, students? Basically, Play Pass will give users access to well-known games, right? And along with other applications. And the best part is that this subscription service is going to come without any advertisements. Next, students, US, EU, UK decided to eliminate selected Russian banks from SWIFT. Now, students, SWIFT is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. You all should know the full form of the acronym SWIFT. It is Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. And what it does is basically it facilitates transactions, between organizations in different countries, basically cross-border transactions. And for any country or a company to make those global transactions, inter-country transactions, it is necessary that it is a part of this SWIFT network. Now, students, in retaliation of Russia's attack on Ukraine, Canada, US, and other European allies have come to a conclusion to remove the key Russian banks from interbank messaging system called the SWIFT, students. It is interbank messaging system that facilitates transactions at the global level, inter-country transaction, students. And this is a very big step that will cut off the country from much of the worldwide financial system. So previously, Iran has been removed from SWIFT in 2014 following developments to its nuclear program in Tehran, students. And the announcement will follow several rounds of joint sanctions that will be imposed on Russia for its unprovoked attack on Ukraine. Next, students, coming to Sustainable Development Goals Index 2021, India ranks 120th position, students. So Sustainable Development Goal Index is an index that measures or captures the performance of various countries in terms of their progress on, SDG goals. So we all know, students, that Sustainable Development Goals are a set of 17 goals that were adopted in 2015 for Agenda 2030. So students, here, India this year has scored or has ranked 120th, and this year it has slipped by 3 positions. So last year, India's rank was 117, but this year it slipped by 3 positions to rank 120th. Its score is 60.07. So the top 5 countries in this ranking, students, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, and Belgium. So these are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, students, that by and large, very comprehensive and cover all the priority areas. So if you see, they address poverty, hunger, health, well-being, education, gender equality, clean water, energy, economic growth, industry, innovation, infrastructure, inequality, sustainable cities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace and justice, and partnerships to achieve goals. And students, India has primarily, has slipped by 3 positions, or for that matter, has not performed very well because of its poor performance on the socio-economic indicators like hunger, health, education, gender equality. So these are some of the areas where India has, performed very poorly, and India need to work on these economic indicators, socioeconomic indicators. Next, students, coming to the Knight Frank's latest edition of the Wealth Report. So India ranks 3rd in billionaire population globally. So the number of ultra high net worth individual students in India has increased by 11% in 2021 to 145 billionaires, the highest percentage growth in the Asia Pacific students. And UHNWIs are individuals with net assets of $30 million or more, right? So even though this might look like a very positive development, but the thing is that given the high inequality in India students, this is not a very welcome, development, in the sense that the inequality in the country is increasing. If this was backed by, increased well-being and prosperity for people at the bottom of the pyramid, this would have been a very positive development. But given the context, I think this is something that India should not be very happy about. And globally, the list has been topped by United States and China, respectively. And if we talk about India city-wise, so Bengaluru recorded the highest growth in number of UHNWIs in 2021 at 17.1% to 352 billionaires, and it was followed by Delhi and Mumbai students. The top 5 countries with the most number of billionaires: United States 748, China 554, India 145, Germany 136, and Russia 121. So for India, it shows more kind of a very lopsided progress, a lopsided development. Next, students, Tata Motors launches Anubhav showroom on wheels. So Tata Motors has launched this mobile showroom named Anubhav to target rural customers by increasing their reach in rural areas and providing them with a doorstep car buying experience. So I think a very out of the box thinking employed by Tatas in order to take their product to the rural communities and the rural areas. They have launched this mobile showroom where they're going to take this car buying experience to the doorstep of the rural people, students. And Tata Motors will deploy a total of 103 mobile showrooms across the country to enhance the Tata Motors brand awareness in rural India. So these mobile showrooms will be operated by dealership under Tata Motors supervision and guidance. So a total of 103 mobile showrooms are being deployed across the country. And these showrooms will help existing dealership to offer doorstep sales experience to customers and to assist them with information about Tata Motors products. And they include a new forever range of cars and SUVs and accessories, finance schemes, booking a test drive, and evaluating existing cars for exchange. Next, students, Ministry of Women and Child Development, in partnership with Nimhans Bengaluru, have launched this Stree Manurksha project with the goal of improving women's mental health in India. So basically, students, this project would concentrate on increasing and strengthening the capability of the one-stop centers that are approached by women, who experience violence and distress and deal with mental health issues. So as part of this initiative, these one-stop centers, we already have a network of 700 one-stop centers across the country. So these one-stop centers will be taught how to appropriately operate the self-defense Shaheed Women Helpline and counsel them. And the advanced training program will be delivered in all of the regional languages that they want to be able to comprehend. And Nimhans has also built a website dedicated to this, which contains a wealth of information on training. So basically, this is to step up the capacity and capabilities of the one-stop centers. Next, students, Swiss to become world's first airlines to use solar aviation fuel. So Swiss International Airlines AG and its parent company Lufthansa Group have partnered with Switzerland-based solar fuel startup Sinhalin to use its solar aviation fuel, students. So now we would see the increased usage of renewable energy even in the civil aviation space, students. And for this, Sinhalin has developed a technology for manufacturing sustainable aviation fuel from renewable energy sources. And when combusted, solar fuel will only produce as much CO2 as it goes into manufacture manufacturing, cutting aviation emissions. So basically, it is going to use as much solar fuel as is used in its manufacturing, right? And Sunderland is set to build the world's first facility to industrially produce solar fuel in Germany, and the plant will become operational from 22 onwards. Next, students, Jet Airways, the grounded, airlines. It has named Sanjeev Kapoor as CEO 2022, student. So Sanjeev Kapoor has been appointed as the new CEO of Jet Airways. And we all know that Jet Airways, it's going through this insolvency resolution process. And it has been, taken over by Jalan Calrock Consortium students, which is the new promoter of Jet Airways. And it's looking to turn around Jet Airways. So Sanjeev Kapoor has been appointed as the new CEO of Jet Airways, and prior to this, Kapoor was the president of Oberoi Hotels and has also worked as the chief operating officer at SpiceJet and chief strategy and commercial officer at Vistara. Next, students, Microsoft will set up India's largest data center region in Hyderabad. So tech giant Microsoft has announced to set up its fourth data center in India in Hyderabad, Telangana. And this will be one of the largest data centers in India and will be operational by 2025. Microsoft already has data centers in Pune, Mumbai, and Chennai, students. And the new data center will add to the growing demand for Microsoft's cloud services from both the private enterprises as well as the government sector. And about this data center, students, so Microsoft has signed a definitive agreement with the Telangana state government with a total investment of rupees 15,000 crores to set up this data center. And in terms of Microsoft's own expansion plans, the company stated that they are expanding their Hyderabad campus as well. And the Hyderabad Center of Microsoft is the largest center for tech giant after Redmond in Washington state of the US. So in India, Microsoft has 14,000 partners and it serves around 340,000 companies in the country. Next, students, Reliance India opens India's biggest business and cultural hub in Mumbai, students. So Reliance India Limited has announced the opening of the Geo World Center, students, which will be the India's largest and most prestigious multi-faceted destination. So basically, this is going to be a multi-purpose center, built with state-of-the-art facilities in line with the global standard, students. And this would cover 18.5 acres in Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex. This is envisioned by Neeta Ambani, Director, Reliance Industries. And it is to set up like a historical business, commerce, and cultural destination, which will provide the people of India with a world-class landmark. So students, this will open in phases over the course of the next couple of years, students. And this World Center would be first of its kind destination in India, which is going to be a cultural center, a musical fountain, premium shops. Basically, it's going to give a retail experience to people. It would have a curated selection of cafes, fine dining restaurants, serviced apartment and offices, and state-of-the-art convention facilities, students. Last, students, MSME Ministry launches Samarth Special Entrepreneurship Promotion Drive for Women. So Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises has launched a special entrepreneurship promotion drive for women named Samarth. And the objective is to provide skill development and market development assistance to women and to train more than 7,500 women candidates from rural and suburban areas. And under the Samarth initiative of the ministry, the following benefits would be provided. So students, number one, 20% seats in free skill development programs organized under skill development schemes of the ministry will be allocated for women. 20% of MSME business delegations sent to domestic and international exhibitions under the scheme would be, have women participation. Then 20% discount on annual processing fees on NSIS commercial scheme special drive for registration of women-owned MSMEs under Udyam registrations. So the women are going to get a discount on the annual processing fees also that is required for registration. So basically, all this is being done to promote women representation in industry and workforce and business. So this is a very welcome move. So that's all for this video, students. I'll see you very soon with another video. Thank you so much.